The other
So,
one.
hi, good evening, and welcome to our Grand Cayman is calling information session. So I'm going to let Peter kick it off, and we're going to talk a little bit.
Okay, well, obviously, welcome, and I'm glad to see it's my Nassau regulars, and as you know, we're not going to Nassau this year because of Stuart Cove's fiasco last year, actually the last 2 years. I did speak to him. He did apologize, and I told him, yeah, maybe in 2024, we'll see. Anyway. But this is going to run in terms of time wise similar. We're going to go down on a Wednesday and come back on Memorial Day. So we can talk about how do we get to Grand Cayman and Sunset House. We'll also talk a little bit about Sunset House. We'll definitely talk about the diving because it's going to be a different experience. The package, and then we'll answer any questions you may have. So you want to move on to getting to Grand Cayman. Easiest way to do it is on American, either through Charlotte or Miami from Hartford, or you can also do Delta through Atlanta.
There's not much else at this point.
Yeah, I mean, probably if you drove to New York, to JFK or Newark, you might be able to get on Cayman Air and get a direct flight. I don't know. I'm going out of Hartford on American.
Did your flights get changed, Peter? Mine did. I had to rejigger it.
Actually, I had booked it ages ago, probably about when you did.
I think right at the same time.
Yeah, and then I found that the connections were too close, or they changed them and it got to be too close. So what I ended up doing was, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Bonaire one. No.
Yeah, they moved.
I got too many freaking trips going.
Right. And we were getting home at like 2 a.m. and I said, I don't know, they fixed it. So the connections are okay.
It's definitely, actually the times are good now. Yeah. You leave at 6 and you're in Cayman by what, 11:30 or something.
11:30.
Yeah. Coming home, it's like a 3 o'clock, gets home at 10 or something like that.
Yeah, it gets home like 10 or 11. But the nice thing is that when we get in 11:30, the way it's set up at Sunset House is we can go dive that afternoon right there. So anybody wants to kind of get, shake the bugs out. You haven't been diving for a while, get the weights correct and all that. We have a beautiful, it's almost like we have an area that's almost like a swimming pool. And then we actually can go out and do a real honest to God dive. The shore diving does not involve traipsing over sand or anything like that. It's very nice, neat, and clean. So we'll get into that in a few more minutes. But so Grand Cayman is the largest of the 3 islands. Some of us have been on Little Cayman and Cayman Brac as well. And we're going to be in the Georgetown area, which is very convenient. A lot of restaurants, almost within walking distance of town. And we'll talk more about shuttling in, and how to get into there. Okay, so if you can see in this picture where the airport is, it's a straight shot across to Sunset House. And actually the runway ends in North Sound. And every once in a while, there's an airplane ends up in North Sound.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, back in the day, Eastern Airlines, I landed there and the plane was still in the water.
So the flight pattern comes right over Sunset House onto the runway. So
so you won't be sleeping late.
But you're only a 10-minute ride from the airport. So very similar to Nassau in that regard. You're a quick shot to Sunset House.
Yeah, it's like getting over to Orange Hill. So after you clear immigration, you get your bags, you get through customs, you go outside, and you can grab a taxi and tell them that you're going to Sunset House. And when you get to Sunset House, the cab driver will go inside and Sunset House will pay your fare. So yeah, you don't have to pay for the taxi. If you want to, you can tip the driver. That's up to you.
Yeah. Now, depending on when everybody gets here and we get all the flight information, they may send a van for us, but we'll know more about that when we get closer to the date. rather than them paying a bunch of cabs, they just might send a van over for us.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be nice. But in fact, Orange Hill used to do that until they banned that. Nassau, the local government said, no, the taxi guys have to make their money.
Yeah.
So they won't let them send a van anymore.
Well, they would get a van that was really a taxi. Like
Okay, they don't have their own?
No, they don't have their own. So
Okay,
they contract out.
Yeah. Orange Hill used to have one. I won't say it was gigantic, but it was big enough to handle about 6 or 8 people. Okay, so and we talked about that. So you're gonna go in, you can tip the driver, and they're gonna put your bags at the front door. Well, that's where we go for registration. That little pink house.
Peter, is this where we went the last time I went to Cayman?
No, when we went to Cayman,
place?
we stayed way up at Cobalt Coast.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. No, yeah. This is going to be a little bit more convenient. It'll be closer to, if we decide we're going to talk about going possibly dining out for a couple of dinners. So it'll be a lot closer, which is good because the cab fares can kill you in Cayman.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and you want to take over from here? Because
yeah,
Jeff is the resident expert on Sunset House.
Yeah. So Donna and I have been down here at least 5 times. Diving with these guys and from this place. So you saw what that front desk is. That pink building up there is the registration and front desk. In that building is also Kathy Church's photo center, and she has a studio with all her pictures. If you need camera gear, she's got like all the camera gear on the island there. Plus, there's a little like sundry store in there for souvenirs and Cokes and things like that. So you can pick things up right in there. They take US dollars. So, but it's small, it's not big. And they're not open every day. But it's something that's on site. If you look there to the left, the oceanfront rooms, all of our rooms are going to be oceanfront rooms. They're in those 3 buildings there that front that little pool out in front. You see that pool is the ocean pool down here. Oops. And the oceanfront rooms are all up in here. This is a picture of what the rooms look like. The lower ones,
what the buildings look like.
Yeah.
What's that? The outside. Yeah. The outside, the lower level ones have a little deck that you can walk down and go out the sliding doors, and then upstairs is upstairs. But they're all facing that ocean pool. With a great view, great sunsets there if you choose to stay there or down by the bar. Picnic tables out in front of them. There's some lounge chairs out in front as well, the oceanfront rooms. Now, the main area, the Sea Harvest restaurant, my bar, and the pool. This is kind of the central location, short walk from your room over to those facilities. The Sea Harvest restaurant is where we have breakfast each morning. It's included. They have what they call a diver's menu. There's like 4 or 5 or 6 different things you can order, like omelets or French toast or a wrap, a breakfast wrap, or a fruit platter or something like that. And it comes with orange juice and toast and, a little bit of either bacon or sausage or something. It's not like a buffet like we had they used to have at Orange Hill. It's more of a quick breakfast. That's every morning. They also have indoor dining for lunch and dinner, but it's the exact same menu as you can get at my bar. They don't distinguish. And if you're into Indian food, they've got a full Indian menu on because apparently all the chefs are from India that work there, or they did in September. So that's the Sea Harvest restaurant, breakfast, and you can get lunch and dinner in there if you'd like. My bar is right on the water, outdoor dining. It is one of the largest bars on the island.
It is the largest.
It is, well, they say it's the largest bar. Like I said, it looks right over the water. That's a picture of sunset that I took the last time we were down there. In the lower right corner, you can see it's right down by the boat dock. Sits up a little bit. Large patio, or you can eat at the bar. And they do have some tables out in the grassy area, but I didn't see many people out in that area. Now, the interesting thing is it is a place that locals come and hang out as well. So it's not just the people staying at the hotel. You'll see people who come there for lunch or dinner or drinks. And the dive staff kind of hangs out there as well from time to time. So huge bar. They're pretty fast and efficient, with getting your meals to you. The pool area, it's clear, clean water. I've never seen it turn green.
Imagine that.
Yeah, that's something.
You know what? It's going to spoil them, though. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
You're not going to want to go back to Orange Hill.
No.
They have they have the lounge chairs and umbrellas up there. Now, normally there's not a lot of people that use that pool, but it's not going to be the same.
That's why it's not green.
Yeah, I don't. It's not going to be the same. I don't think they're going to let you bring your beer bottles in there and stuff like that. We might have to cool it there. But all the lounge chairs, umbrellas. Up at the top there's a non-heated jacuzzi on the top level. You can see it up here. That's where the jacuzzi is. No jumping allowed from the top into the pool. It's been done, let's just say. I've seen it happen.
Been done by Pete.
No, it's no heat in the pool.
No, I said Pete's the one who was jumping.
Yeah.
No,
Billy might.
Uh,
No, not even might. He would.
But you can see it overlooks now. Some people like to get in the pool to put their wetsuit on before they head down to the boat. There's people do all kinds of stuff. The dive shop and the lockers, they're right in the middle there. You can see them right next to right near my bar and right near the Sea Harvest restaurant. That's a picture of the dive shop. It's not a big fancy thing. There's no there's no like retail outlet there where you can buy t-shirts and stuff like that. It's a dive locker almost. That's where if you're going to rent gear, you'll pick up your rental gear there. And the thing about it is you'll check in on your arrival. What they do here is you will fill out all your waiver forms online before you go down. So all you have to do is check in with the dive shop, let them know you're there, and you'll get your locker assignment. The locker is where you can keep your gear for your whole facility. You can see there's some dive lockers along this wall. There's some up back there and some on the side here. Some of them have open backs. You can put your stuff in there, hang your wetsuit up, put your gear in there.
And they give you a padlock.
Yeah, there's a little lock. They used to make you put a deposit down on the padlock, but they stopped doing that. So you'll just get a little padlock with a key.
Little 1-inch square lock.
Yeah. And you'll see the dive shop has some of these carts that you can move your gear around. And we'll talk a little bit about the logistics for that in a little bit. But this is also where you pick up your tanks for any shore diving. And if you're doing nitrox, you'll just analyze your nitrox tank right there. They'll bring it out to you and you'll fill out you'll just sign a log with the mix that you've got. So again, everything's close. You're only minutes away. Now let's talk a little bit about the shore diving, as Peter said, when we get down there on Wednesday, and we're there early enough, chances are we're going to be able to do it. Well, very likely, hopefully, we'll be able to do a nice shore dive. What we normally do, Don and I, is you see the ocean pool there. We'll go down to the ocean pool. It's about 6-7 feet deep. It's a great place to get in, get your weighting checked, make sure all your gear's operating properly. And then you see how you go out to that little cut in the ocean pool. That will take you right out to the mermaid. As you go out there, you'll follow that out for about maybe 5-10 minutes, and then you'll drop down to about 50 feet for the mermaid. You can also do a shore dive from these ladders over here. You can either do a giant stride in or walk into the ladders, and you can find your way out to the wreck, or there's a little wreck out there of a landing craft, or there's an old anchor or stuff. Let me see. Okay. That's the ocean pool. You can see the steps going down. It's easy access. And if you're going to do a night dive, it is a fantastic place to start and end your night dive. There's simple navigation out to the mermaid and the wreck. And actually, if you stay sometimes inside the ocean pool, you can find a lot of little critters and little things swimming around. At the end of a dive, we might spend an extra 10 minutes just poking around the rubble in the ocean pool for different little blennies or little cool stuff. And as you go out that channel from the ocean pool, there's a lot of stuff in the sand. You might find different things poking around in the sand. Right before we got in there, I came across a yellow ray, or a southern ray, and a jack out hunting and stuff. I think I got a picture of that. That's a picture of the ladder entry. You can either step down and you put your fins on there, or they've got a couple of little arrows where you can do a giant stride. So they've got them cut out so that you don't smash into the bottom. You can do a giant stride right from there and start your dive. Let's look at the Sunset House Reef. This is a little bit of the reef picture that I took. They had this big plaque out there, and you can find it in the guides and everything else. You see from the ocean pool, as you head out, you drop down, there's the mermaid in about 50 feet of water or thereabouts. They have a coral nursery that they have out there on the far right of this side. There's that wreck of there's the wreck of the Nickerson you'll see out in there right over here. So like I said, I like to do this dive and go all around. And then you've got a cruise ship anchor out here, and just a lot of cool little stuff to see out in this reef, this house reef. I do it 4 or 5 times, and every time I do it, I do a different dive. So one time I'll go this way, I'll poke around, I'll go another way and poke around. I've actually gotten to 100 feet on a shore dive. Out there on a single aluminum 80, you just go out and just cruise on back in. Again, really cool house reef. Let's talk about the boat diving. They have 2 new twin engine catamarans. They're outboard engines. They're big, 2 outboard engines. They're fast and they're stable. And you can see they have plenty of room. They're not a Newton, 46-foot Newton. They can't handle as many people as that Newton can. So I'm guessing with what we're going to have, we'll all be on one boat. But if the trip really takes off, we might have to be on 2. But I'm guessing we'll be on a single boat. Again, twin engine catamarans. You see up there in the upper right corner is the dock that the boats pull into. They will bring all your gear onto the boat, and then you just step on board. Okay. And they'll ask you to be seated as you go out. Now, different than what we had at Stewart Cove, we're gonna have to take our gear off the boat at the end of the day. So we'll just take it off, we'll throw it in the cart and bring it back up, rinse it up, and put it in your locker.
The end of the day can be the end of the morning, because unless the trip includes 2-tank boat dive in the morning and unlimited shore diving.
Okay.
But there's more.
Yeah, so here's more Sunset House. That was a picture taken from our room the last time we were down there on the far left. And then you see the walkway down. You see the tanks out there where you put your shore dive tanks when you're done with them. The rinse tanks are on your right as you walk down. They got wetsuits, gear, camera bucket, hoses in there. There's a little shower right over here. There's a shower right there. And then you see they have this bar down there. Sometimes you can use this to hang up your stuff to let it drip dry or whatever you want. Stays out in the sun. People, you'll see people getting ready for shore diving just will put their tanks on here and put them together. And then they'll either throw them on a cart and bring them down to the water, or we just throw them on and like put our gear on and just walk down. So that's a little bit more of Sunset House. Let's talk about the typical routine. Breakfast will be at my bar or at Sea Harvest Restaurant about 7 a.m. That's when they open up. You get your gear ready for the boat right after that. The boat leaves around 8:15 for your 2-tank morning boat dives. Once you get your gear all together and it's in your boat bag, or one of the dive crew will either throw it in a cart or carry it down to the dock for you.
Jeff, are they going to have our tanks set for us on the boat so we don't have to gear up on shore and throw them in the cart, do we?
No, they'll already be on the boat.
On the boat, yeah, they'll have them on the boat, and you'll analyze on the boat.
The tanks you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just get our gear in a cart or carry our gear down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll go out for the 2-tank morning boat dives, and we return to lunch. We'll be back around noon, thereabouts. And then afternoon shore dives or night dives or both or none or any of the above that you'll have. And then Peter, we talked about dinner. The options are to head to town or stay at Sunset House. It's up to you.
Yeah. I looked at the prices on the menu, and they're a little bit less expensive than going to a place like the Wharf, which is like going to Cafe Matisse. The Wharf happens to be right on the water. It's gorgeous. It's cafe. If you've been to Cafe Matisse, I think you'll feel very comfortable at the Wharf. Mm-hmm. The quality of the food is great. Service is terrific. And it's not inexpensive, but it's not going to be crazy. The only thing you do have to remember, okay, is that the prices that you will read on the menu are in Cayman Island dollars. And the problem is the US dollar is worth 80 cents down there. So in other words, something that says is $10 is going to cost you 12 American dollars. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind, no matter where you are, because they always quote it, unless they specifically say this is US dollars.
Yeah.
How about Diver Supply when you have to go in there and buy something? Is that US dollars or CI?
No, it's all CI.
That's what I thought. So just be aware that that's what it is. Your best bet, truthfully, bring a credit card.
Yeah.
But getting back to that if we want to go out, and I know some of my Nassau people are used to that, I was thinking we could do 1 or 2 nights, beforehand. You let me know what nights you would like to go. And I was thinking like Saturday night would be a great night to do the wharf if we can get in there. It's a very, very, very popular place with the locals as well as visitors. And then I've got one of the ones we went to when we were doing Pirates Week, which nobody else went to, was the Lobster Pot, which is in town. What's on the other side of Hogstye Bay. I got a bunch of places to go to, but I'm thinking just 2 places would be fine, because we may want to do a night dive and it'll be more convenient to eat at our own place either before or after the dive.
Usually before. It depends on when sunset is. We'll have to look at that. But usually, because you're rushing around trying to get back, and the kitchen they close up about 10, or they're by 9:45, they're not serving.
I would think, yeah, you're right. If sunset doesn't set until 9 o'clock, we better eat first.
So
but
these are
I
some
didn't think
pictures.
It was gonna be that early.
These are some pictures of diving on the house reef. You see the mermaid out there. That's a little bit of the wreck that you can get to. And then that's the picture of the Southern Ray with the little jack out there hunting right before the ocean pool. And then when we were out on the wreck, the last dive we did out there, we had this spotted eagle ray following us around. It was out by the wreck, and then we headed back to the mermaid, and he followed us. So
he was looking for the mermaid.
Yeah, I guess so.
And he thought you would show him how to get there.
But I was quite surprised to see him out there. But you'll see that I've seen a lot of rays out there. Turtles come to this area as well. And on a night dive, I guess I didn't see him, but there was like 3 octopus out on the wreck.
I saw one of them.
Yeah, so a lot to do on this house reef. Boat diving, you'll see one of those pictures there is of Devil's Grotto. It's a lot of swim throughs, very shallow dive, really interesting, great place. We were way up north to Haps Pipeline, which is up near on the north side. Those boats can get up there, which are very nice. And then we have a couple of shallower dives with Little Mesa and Rainbow Reef. There's a lot of fish life on them. And the depths range from 45 to 100 feet. They don't want you to go below 100, but when you're out there on the wall, but normally there's a lot to see, and we can point them towards things that people are more comfortable with. And the water temperatures that time of year down there should be between 80 and 82. So really warm, no problems. Get 80 to 100 foot visibility easily. Now, the other nice thing about Sunset House is that if the winds start to blow out of the west, and the west side, which is what we're facing, gets bad, they may close shore diving down, but what they do is they move the boats to the south side, so we can go over and it's nice and calm over on the south side where to dive. And there's some really cool shallower dives over there as well. We've done a lot of diving on that side also. So if things get a little crappy on the west, we just go south, stay out of the bad weather. All right, I think 5 nights, oceanfront, airport transfers. They do have a free shuttle to town in the afternoon if you so choose. But you do need to check with the front desk.
You need to make a reservation, because if nobody reserves it, they won't run it. So you can't do it at the last minute. You got to let them know ahead of time.
There's a welcome drink that you get, a little coupon for either a rum punch, or you can convince them to give you a beer or something else. They usually honor that. They'll have a welcome gift. Don't expect a lot. I mean, the last time we got reusable metal straw. One time we got a collapsible plastic water bottle. Another time we got a
Shopping bag.
shopping
Oh,
bag.
gee, that sounds swell.
Yeah, it depends
You know,
on.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't like you. They gave me a Tarek dive computer. So
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's only $1,500 one. You know.
Mhm.
Daily breakfast, 4 days of 2-tank boat diving, unlimited shore diving, and nitrox is included in the trip. All Scuba Shack trips now have nitrox. We just put it into the deal. Here's something Peter and I have talked about. That first night, we may look at having a dinner at the hotel, at the Sea Harvest restaurant. In that Sea Harvest restaurant, they do have a back section that we could potentially abscond and stay back there. Last time we were down there was a wedding going on in that little back part, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think that would be, it would be reminiscent of when we used to all get together at Capricio's.
Yeah.
It was a way for people to get to know each other. And so I don't think we're maybe going to do it. As long as they'll do it, I think that's what we should
Yeah,
plan.
we'll just have to, once we get everything arranged, and then they'll just put it on your room bill, you know, so everything that you charge at the My Bar or the Sea Harvest, they'll just put on your room.
And it's still the same menu that we get at the other place.
Yeah, and that makes it easy. So and I think the gratuities for the restaurant are included in your bill. So when you get your bill, I think they include the gratuity on there, so you don't have to like figure it out and whatever. And then it's nice because you just pay at the end. And sometimes if you've been at the bar for a while, you pay a lot at the end. That happened to Monty and me one time. You know, but that was a different story. You know, now Peter talked about dinners in town.
Yep. Yeah, I would like to do similar to what we did. It gets tiresome eating on the same place with the same menu. And since it's, you know, it gives you a chance to see a little bit more of the island. And I would like to at least do the wharf. And if people want to do 2 nights, we can do lobster pot. And we'll just need, once we get closer, we'll kind of nail down the dates and figure out what and when.
Who wants to go? And
yeah, who wants to go? Yeah, it'd be great if everybody wanted to go, but you know, if it's only just, you know, the old crew, that's fine too, because there are going to be some people that, you know, on this trip that have not been to Nassau. But
okay,
I can't think of who they are.
yeah, who are they?
Yeah, how many people do we have?
I think we're up to what, 12?
9, 12, whatever.
Yeah,
Some
we're at
12.
12.
14. We're at 12, so around 12 right now.
We'll see. I mean, the other thing is this says afternoon kiddie wake boat dive. We also can do other boat dives. I think what we're going to do is see what we got at the end, and once we close out the registration for people, then we'll see, well, who wants to do afternoon boat dives, and then we can add them on. They need a minimum of 6 to take the boat out, and the boat dives will be the same as the kiddie wake, about $85 in that neighborhood. Again, I love that house reef. I'll dive it. I dive it 3 times a day. I mean, I always go out and look for stuff. So it's up to individuals. You want to pay the money to go boat diving, and we got enough.
But here's the most important part. If we prepay, if you sign up and prepay, it's less expensive than
$5
if you,
less.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it might be
$5.
Sounds like a rounding error to me.
Yeah, well,
You know, it
will be less expensive if you do it there, and have a better shot of knowing what we're doing and when we're doing it.
Okay.
So just
but again, The only thing, one of the things that's not included is tipping of the dive staff, and that's not included. And what they recommend is $10 a tank. So you're doing, 4 boat dives, figure it out. It's, 80 bucks, right? For the dive staff for your 4 morning boat dives. That's the recommended. They even put it up there. No more $5 a tank, which was the way it was when I started 20 years ago. They were talking about $5 a tank. Now it's up to 10. And what you can do, they have a little tip. You can get an envelope, and they have the big tip jar, I think, at the dive shop. So you don't pay every boat dive. They take it and divvy it up then amongst the boat crews, because you won't get the boat crews may change day over day. She said that if she tries to keep the same crew with groups, but they're short staffed just like everybody. So I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
So